back to Disney World. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who may be new here, my name is Ashley and today I have a Disney World trip announcement vlog. Before I get into that, I do want to go ahead and address this situation up here. I'm not sure how well it's coming across on camera. You may not be able to see it as bad from far away, but you can see all these like speckles and stuff up here. I'm at the end of recovering from sun poisoning on my face. It's been disgusting and it's been on my chin, it's been on my nose, it's been on my forehead mainly. It was all blistered and stuff. And so this was supposed to go up last week, but unfortunately it's not going up until this upcoming week because I got very bad sun poisoning at the beach and just really did not feel like filming while I had the sun poisoning. So we're filming it now. This is an exciting video, so let's get right in. Even have on my 50th cutie little shirt, even though it's not the 50th anymore. I love this shirt. I love the colors in it. Love Mickey, he's my guy, and I just felt like wearing it for this fun celebration announcement. Of course, I have my little printed itinerary, very tentative itinerary, just as a basis so I don't kind of lose track. So if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you'll know back in like November, early December, I had a lot of Disney World vlogs go up because I was there for 12 days across the span of 2 trips that were all within like 2.5 weeks. I mentioned back in those videos that we were taking a break this year from Disney and we wouldn't be going back for a little while, and honestly that was kind of the intention. That truly was our intention. Disney World is a very expensive place. It holds my heart, it is my second home, but it is really expensive. And we had been a lot within like a 2-year span, and we really wanted to take this year and do some other types of travel. I will say quickly that Luke's brother is in the military. He's in the Air Force and he's been out in Washington for the last like 2 years now, and he is being stationed to do his like second part in Germany. And so he will be leaving later this summer for Germany. And he came to Luke and I back at some point last year. I know he made this comment, but then he really did at the beginning of this calendar year, saying that he really wanted to go to Disney with us and us get to do that before he went to Germany for 2 to 3 years, because he hasn't been in like, I think 10 or 11 years. And there's so much new stuff in the past 10 to 11 years that's happened and been renovated or completely brand new built. And their family is huge Star Wars fans, so none of them have seen Galaxy's Edge. And so he really wanted to go do that. So it was really hard for Luke and I to kind of be like, no, we're not doing that. Pick something else for a family vacation before you leave, especially with as much as we know about Disney and how much we love Disney. So we are going back because Seth really wants to go, and very quickly we were on board. I mean, we weren't wanting to try and go this year, but once it kind of got in the works, of course, we were for it. So this trip is going to be Luke and I, his brother Seth, his girlfriend, and their parents, Luke and Seth's parents, my in-laws. And so there's 6 of us going, and as I'm filming this in the middle of May, we are about a month away from our trip. I really don't like to give the trip dates prior to going on the trip if I kind of do like a trip announcement video just for safety and security and such, but I will say we will be there for a good chunk of June. So on the first day of our trip, that will be the day we are traveling. Luke and I are traveling separately from his parents because we're actually going to go down a day earlier and just spend some time at the resort, probably go to Springs that night before everyone else flies in the next day. It just worked out for us that way, that the flights were cheaper and Luke had some credits with a certain airline, and then that just kind of worked out. So we have no problem doing that. So we're gonna head down a day earlier than everyone else, and we'll be getting in like midday. Like I said, we'll just enjoy the resort, check in, and probably go to Springs at night. And then the next day is still going to be a travel day pretty much, because Seth and his girlfriend Abby will be flying from Washington to Orlando, so that's going to be a long day for them. And Mark and Tammy, my in-laws, are going to be coming from Nashville midday and getting there, I think, around like 4 o'clock-ish. I can't really remember all their times, but anyways, everyone will get there. We're gonna just take it easy that night, eat somewhere kind of quick and close to our resort, and then we will start true Disney the next day. So we are staying at Wyndham Bonnet Creek. Luke and I have stayed there twice on 2 longer trips. It is not a Disney hotel. It's not with the Disney resorts, but it is very, very close. It's actually really close to Disney Springs in relation to everything. And it's a beautiful resort. It's one of the best Wyndhams in the country, supposedly, and we've always had great experiences there, but it's beautiful. There are lazy rivers and so many pools, and it's honestly set up like a true resort with like little huts and restaurants everywhere and walking paths and a big lake in the middle, and it's just very peaceful. And so it's a really nice resort to enjoy, and I feel like the 6 of us will probably not stay together every moment of the trip. It's highly probable that Luke's parents will either meet up with us like mid-morning if they want to sleep in, or they may go back early some nights, or they may want to enjoy the resorts some afternoons and take a break in the afternoons. You never know. So it's a really nice resort to get to do that. So the first day is Magic Kingdom. We are kicking it off strong with MK. I have a love-hate relationship with starting with Magic Kingdom. I feel like it's really fun to start with that because it was the first park for Walt Disney World, and it has the iconic castle. And I feel like you kind of just want to start with that, but there is a part of me that loves finishing at MK to make that kind of like the end of the trip, just to end on such a high note. But it's all good. We really tried to pick the days that we did each park based on crowd levels, because we will be there at the very start of summer, so we're expecting pretty high crowds, and I would like to do some of the busier parks in the middle of a week and not on a weekend. So that is why we are starting and not ending with Magic Kingdom. So we are starting with Magic Kingdom. We do not have any dining reservations this day. I kind of realized on my last trip in November that if you have a family that has young kids that want to meet characters, then I really think Magic Kingdom is great to do either the Crystal Palace, where you can meet the 400 Acre Wood main characters, or Cinderella's Royal Table, especially since all those princesses are back, because I believe you get to meet 5 princesses. And so those are great restaurants to do if you have people in your party that are really interested in doing character meet and greets, getting autographs, getting pictures, whatnot. But it is really expensive to do either of those meals, and pretty much all the table service meals at Magic Kingdom are pretty pricey. And in my experience, everyone goes to Magic Kingdom wanting to try a lot of the treats that Magic Kingdom has to offer. So you can make a full day of eating out of the snacks and treats and quick service meals at Magic Kingdom. Okay, I went ahead and moved you guys, and I think that that is much better on the lighting. I felt like part of me was shadowed, so hopefully this is much better. I know it's not a great backdrop, but we're just gonna make do. So our second day is going to be at Epcot, and on this day we do have a dinner dining reservation at Chef de France, I think it's basically the French table restaurant. I have never eaten there. My in-laws ate there when they went to Disney when they were like dating or very freshly married, and that was the last time they've eaten there, but none of the rest of us have. We really thought about doing Tepinetto. Luke and I are big fans of Tepinetto, so we really thought about booking that, but it would have been the 3rd time I would have eaten at Tepinetto, and although I would totally do it again, I do want to try some of the other restaurants at Epcot, because growing up, my family just didn't go to Epcot very much, and we didn't take part in the dining there as much. So I do want to try something new. So we're having dinner at the French table service restaurant, so I think that'll be great. Flower and Garden is also going to be going on while we are in Epcot, so there'll be beautiful topiaries, but there's also going to be tons of good treats and drinks and food to try that'll be for the festival. And I think this will be a really fun day because I'm so excited to ride Cosmic Rewind again and to get everyone on that ride and see what they think about it. I absolutely love that ride. Luke, I know, will be like thrilled to ride it again, and I think it'll be fun to do the World Showcase with this group. Okay, our next day is actually a rest day. So Luke and I came from very different backgrounds of doing Disney. I mean, his family didn't really do it that much when he was a kid and while he was growing up, whereas my family did. But my family's view was like, every day you go hard. And his family's view was like, you may be in the park for like half the day every few days. They didn't really take full advantage of the parks as much. And so when we got married and we kind of started doing Disney and stuff together a lot, we had very different perceptions of what Disney looked like. And I will say, I think this is one of the areas of our marriage where we have combined for the greater good, because I think we have found our favorite way to do Disney in the ways that we do it together. We basically do go hard at the parks as far as trying to rope drop, and we stay till nighttime shows for the most part, but we factor in rest days, which has become such a preference and such a nice day in the middle of the hustle and bustle of Disney, because it gives everyone a chance to really just let their feet rest, sleep more, and just take it easy. So this rest day, we will really all just sleep in, take it easy. Like I said, we'll go to the pools and enjoy the resort. And then we're going to go to Disney Springs at night. I'm sure we'll all get kind of more dressed up, dressed fancy. It'll be really fun. And we're gonna go to Springs, and we're going to have dinner at Wine Bar George. I have not tried Wine Bar George, neither has Luke, but we, see it in videos from influencers that we love to watch all the time. It looks so good. And this was actually the restaurant that I chose because back in March for March Madness, we had a family bracket, and the winner of the bracket, whoever ended up with the most points, got to pick our dinner at Disney Springs the first night, and I picked Wine Bar George because I did win that. All right, the next day is going to be Animal Kingdom. So this day is going to be a really nice day, I think, coming off of a break day, because Animal Kingdom, I always think, is an earlier in the day park. It's the first park to open in the morning, I'm pretty sure. It opens at like 7 or 7:30 in the morning, and it closes earlier than any of the other parks as well. And a lot of this just is due to the animals being such a featured part of this park. And I know that they're just more active in the morning, especially for Kilimanjaro safaris. That is a great ride to do early in the morning because it's not so hot and the animals will come out more. So I think this is gonna be a great one to do after coming off a rest day, so people can get up a little bit earlier and get moving faster. This is the other park that we have that we do not have any dining reservations at. Yak and Yeti for table service, I would imagine, is really good, but I have done the quick service version of Yak and Yeti a few times and it's always great, and so that's an option. But last time I was there, I tried Satuli Canteen in Pandora. That was a place I really wanted to try and I loved it, and I really want all of them to try it. And so I personally just think that Animal Kingdom's another one of those that you can totally go off of quick services, snacks, etc., and be totally fine. The next day is not a Disney day, but it will be a super fun day because we are going to Volcano Bay Water Park. This is actually Universal Studios Water Park, but it is the best water park hands down I've ever been to in my life. I am not a water park girl. I have not been a water park girl for most of my life, but Volcano Bay is a whole new story. It is the most innovative, fun, so much to do water park ever. It is the best water park, and Luke and I have done it on one of my family trips from 2019, and we all just had the most fun there. It was such a blast, and we have said along the years that we would love to go back there. And so we are going to be going to Volcano Bay, and it's going to be a really nice break from amusement parks just to be cool and in the water all day. So the next day is going to be a rest day, and that's going to be totally needed, I'm sure, after a day at the water park. The water and the sun just drain you. And so I've always noticed that myself, I'm always so tired after a water park. I go crash hard that night, and it's just gonna be, I think, really nice to have a break day, especially after Animal Kingdom and then the water park, just to put another one in there. And I'm sure we'll do about the same thing. We'll sleep in, we'll go to Springs at night, we'll hang out around the resort. Luke and I are trying to find like a cool brunch at maybe one of the Disney resorts that's not as easy to get to when you're doing a park day to go to this day. So if you have any suggestions, definitely comment them below on what's a good breakfast or brunch or lunch to do that's Disney but not in the parks. All right, the next day and our last day of vacation fun is at Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios in recent has really become one of my favorite parks. Not that it wasn't growing up, but I would say that Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios are tied for my top favorite park. I just love the theming of Toy Story Land so much and Galaxy's Edge, even though I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, it is very immersive and it is really cool to see. And I think Rise of the Resistance is just such next level innovative ride. But Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower, those are always been some of my favorite rides. But my favorite thing there, and one of my favorite things about Disney, is Fantasmic. Always loved Fantasmic, and the new refurbished new Fantasmic, it had me crying like hard tears 3 different times during the show when I saw it back in November, and it's just incredible. And no one else in this group has seen that new Fantasmic, so I'm so excited for them to all see it. On this day we have 2 dining reservations. We actually have Oga's Cantina, which is the bar inside of Galaxy's Edge. We have a reservation there a little bit before lunchtime, and then we have the Hollywood Brown Derby for lunch, and I've never eaten there. It's one of the fancier or like nicer places in Hollywood Studios for table service, so I've heard, and so I hope it's really good. I think everyone will really enjoy having like a break inside with some cool air and a place to sit down for lunch that day, and I hope that it's really good. And I am really excited that we are going to at least end the trip at Hollywood Studios, if it's not at Magic Kingdom, to be able to end it on Fantasmic, because that was the last night of my trip back in November. We did a half day at Magic Kingdom before flying home, and so it wasn't my last park I went to, but it was the last night. And I do remember leaving Hollywood Studios that night thinking I could easily be done with my trip after seeing that. It was such a high note. It would end on such a high note, such a like raw, emotional, heartfelt show. And I mean, I know that's partially because I have so much nostalgia with it, but it's just such a good show, and I know that everyone in our group's gonna love it. And then the next day is a travel day, so everyone's traveling back home. Seth and his girlfriend will be going back to Washington, and Luke and I and my in-laws will be traveling back to Nashville. So that's gonna be it. It is a really long trip. I think we're spanning like 10 active days into the trip between traveling and then actually vacationing and like doing stuff. So it's a really long trip. And I know that my brother-in-law is gonna have the best time on this trip. I hope he does, at least. I haven't been during summer break for schools in a really long time, so I kind of need to re-prepare myself as far as mentality going into the crowds and mixed with the heat and the humidity, because Florida is very hot and it's very humid. So I'm already kind of working on my outfits, and I need to start working on my hairstyles so that I don't end up with nasty humid hair that I just can't deal with. But I hope you guys will stay tuned, as there are definitely going to be some Florida vlogs and some Disney World vlogs. Even though we had written off this year for Disney, we're back and we are really excited about it. So I hope you enjoyed this trip announcement, and I will see you guys in the next one.